revelations have emerged about the Big Five cartel, one of South Africa's most feared and powerful criminal networks. Our lead story for today, the Big Five. Unbelievable details about South Africa's most dangerous cartel. They are ready to kill anyone who tries messing up with them. A very powerful group known as the Big Five that has been operating in the shadowy world of South Africa's criminal underbelly has emerged as one of the most threatening cartels operating today. This organization, accused of running vast drug trafficking networks, has shown a chilling willingness to eliminate anyone who stands in its way. With routes stretching across provinces and deep connections into law enforcement, politics, and private security, the Big Five is not just a distant threat. It is actively shaping events right now. As investigations unfold in real time, revelations from ongoing inquiries are painting a picture of a syndicate that has infiltrated the very systems meant to protect society, ready to strike down rivals, witnesses, or even officials who get too close. As of today, these unbelievable details are coming to light, revealing how this cartel has positioned itself to dominate through fear, money, and influence, with members allegedly prepared to orchestrate hits on anyone blocking their path. The story centers on accusations that the Big Five has been masterminding drug operations from its base in Kidong, extending its reach into the Western Cape, KwaZulu, Natal, and the Eastern Cape. These areas are crucial because they include seaports that serve as gateways for smuggling illegal substances into the country. The cartel is said to exploit these ports, moving massive shipments under the radar, and recent shifts suggest they are adapting by targeting smaller harbors to avoid heightened scrutiny at major sites like Durban. This adaptability highlights their strategic mindset, always one step ahead of authorities, and it explains why gang activities are flaring up in unexpected places, drawing in local players who facilitate the flow of goods and enforce control through intimidation. At the heart of these claims stands Jotin Zanimulai, a Pretoria taxi boss known as Msis, who passed away nearly 2 years ago from an undisclosed illness. Even in death, Mibi is being portrayed as the ruthless leader of this cartel, often called its president. Investigators describe him as someone deeply involved in the taxi industry, where he built a reputation over decades, but also as a figure linked to numerous eliminations. His influence extended far beyond transport. He ran businesses in construction and hospitality, creating a web of connections that allowed the Big Five to operate smoothly. Mibi's name has surfaced in probes into a stolen cocaine consignment worth millions taken from police custody years ago, suggesting the cartel's hand in bold inside jobs that undermine trust in law enforcement. The Mana Commission of Inquiry, along with a parallel parliamentary ad hoc committee, is currently digging into these allegations, which exploded into public view in July of this year, when KwaZulu-Natal's police commissioner made startling public statements. One officer, referred to as Witness A, has recounted how a high-ranking police official attempted to steer investigations away from certain suspects, warning that they were tied to extremely dangerous individuals, including CB. This witness painted MBI as a taxi owner with a fearsome reputation for dealing with threats decisively. Another witness has linked Msibi to an overarching structure called the Firm, sometimes known as the Farm, which allegedly serves as the umbrella for the Big Five's activities. Under this setup, the cartel is said to coordinate drug trafficking while embedding itself in official circles.
And of which it might be more because it's a continuous investigation. It's to the number of 30.
Witness B further submitted that the brazenness of the hitmen was apparent in their tone on WhatsApp message exchanges recovered after their arrest. She added that the late taxi boss, Jotin Msibi, known as King Mswazi, appeared to run operations.
But mostly the word firm, you will hear from mostly the hitmen saying, when they talk amongst themselves, saying we are the best in the firm, bragging about, shortly after the killing, they might be bragging and declare themselves as the best in the firm. But in some other instances, people will refer to the farm And then what is noted throughout the investigation is that in this Big Five, it's not just something that is not coordinated. It's more like a structure. And from my understanding, if I may put it from my understanding, I would say there was an executive and other bodies underneath, of which Swazi appeared to be, if I may put it in a simple term, in other structures, I would say he would be referred to as president. And maybe it's worth noting that it's not only him that is on the run. Even the person that we haven't even started pursuing, of which is Thapelo Mlife, the son of Katiso Mlife, is also on the run. The members of the Big Five that said we are willing to take the boy under our wing, make sure that the police, they don't get hold of him.
Lebo, ngicela uhambe utshela uTshepo ukuthi he must stay far away from Soweto and angayi emsebenzini until further notice. Akumelanga atholakale anyway. Amafoni wakhe mawahlale off. Everything that has got to do naye ayingatholakali until further notice. Ilawyer isho kanjalo and nabo bhuti basho kanjalo bathi nje makanyamalale angatholakali. If akanandawo yokuhlala bazomorganizela indawo yokuhlala ukuthi hamba uhlala somewhere for a while.
Mibi's family ties add another layer of intrigue. He was the brother of Mangjami, a prominent ANC figure in Mpumalanga who recently returned to his role as provincial treasurer after facing his own controversies. Mana has chosen not to comment on the accusations against his late sibling, allowing the family to focus on letting him rest. Yet Ma's past includes claims of threats to his own life and legal battles, including charges that were later withdrawn, which some see as echoing the perilous environment surrounding the Big Five.
A murder case against former Mpumalanga Agriculture MEC has been postponed to the 21st of February for further investigations. Msibi, who was released on a 20,000 rand bail in October, is facing 2 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. Our reporter, Mweli Masilela, has more.
Well, the case against former agriculture MEC Mandam Msibi has been postponed once again to the 24th of February next year for further investigation. Well, the state has also stated that there are some outstanding issues, for example, the ballistic tests, as well as an ID parade which still needs to be done. But of course, the magistrate presiding over the case, Magistrate Susan Monaledi, raising some concerns to say that the investigating officer on the case during the bail application said that he needs only 2 months to conclude the investigation, but still it's not done. So she said that this is the final time.
So this connection raises questions about how political spheres might intersect with cartel operations, potentially providing cover or influence that keeps the group thriving. CB's funeral in January 2024 offers a glimpse into his expansive network. Held on his farm, the event drew crowds, including high-profile attendees like former Police Minister Becky Seal and EFF leader Julius Malema. Reports describe an atmosphere heavy with security presence, where mourners arrived in helicopters rather than by road, underscoring the wealth and power on display. Private security personnel outnumbered typical funeral elements, hinting at the armed, might-backing CBI circle. If the Commission's findings confirmed CBI's role as the Big Five's head, it would imply that these leaders unknowingly or otherwise honored a key player in organized crime, blending the lines between legitimate authority and illicit empires. Beyond CB, 2 other Kidang men have been named as core members of the Big Five, Fasimikat Matala and Gatiso Malef. Mitsala, currently facing charges of attempted murder and money laundering, runs a private security company that has drawn intense scrutiny. Court documents reveal his firm provided protection to Mibi, who was in rivalry with another taxi boss named Joe Ferrari Siboni. Matala is accused of involvement in a failed shooting targeting Sibenyoni in Centurion back in 2022, though he denies any ties to the taxi world or its disputes. His bail appeals have been rejected, most recently by the High Court in Johannesburg on the 27th of October, keeping him detained as trials proceed. Becky Seal has admitted to meeting Matala at a hotel introduced by another security figure who was later killed. This encounter happened after police raided Matala's home in a kidnapping probe, but before his current charges. Plea noted Matala's team included former Special Task Force officers raising concerns about private entities siphoning state-trained talent.
I don't know his house. I don't know his wife. He doesn't know my house. He doesn't know my wife. Doesn't know my family and all. So it can't be my friend. He's an acquaintance because we talk to him about issues. I must admit, SC, it would be nice to get a free place to sleep. It would be nice to go to Pretoria and sleep free when you don't work. Even if you work, you would have taken it, but then report and declare that has happened. But it's not true that I'm his business partner.
Thanks, Chair. General Mabonga, apart from being known as a child...
Come again, that
part. Mabonga.
Okay, Mabonga.
Yeah, Mabonga.
Yes.
Apart from being known as a child of some taxi, what in KZN, he was a well-known thug in Gauteng, a criminal of note. Was that known to you at that time?
Well, I know that he has been arrested at some time. Criminal of note, not exactly, but arrested. Yes, I know that he had a criminal record, Honorable Member. Matlala, because now we're engaged on this presidential thing and me and all that, but talk other things. One thing that took me aback in the meeting of Zimbabwe is when I saw his protection guys. And I began to say that looks like there are faces I know here. What nearly made me fall down is when he told me that some of those guys, 23 of them, has recruited them from Special Task Force of the Army. I said to myself, what is this? He has taken 23 of the Special Task Force of the Army to guard him.
They're even recruiting some of our best, highly trained officers.
Let's see, I'm giving you the story that scared me. Why I'm scared of this story is because I've spoken to Nhlanhla earlier on and gave me the information that we have lost 56 members of the Special Task Force of Police to the taxi industry. 56. Now, I'm told that to train one member of the Special Task Force is 1.1 million to be all-rounder. One. We have lost 56 to the taxi industry. Maybe there where I threaten you of knowing. But I've got two issues here. That I can't have such a production to the private security. That's the first fear. The second fear is that looks like we're increasing the capabilities of the private security versus the state. Because I don't care how many you send, there will be a serious battle between 56 guys in the tax industry with the 20 guys you send of the Special Task Force.
Audio recordings played at the Madlenga Commission capture Metal admitting to cash payments to officials, including sums for personal events and property deals, suggesting a pattern of buying influence to secure favors like contracts or leniency. Then there's Jaiso Malef, who was recently released on substantial bail while facing accusations of arranging multiple contract eliminations. One notable case involves the killing of John Sefiga, a popular DJ known as Someboy, gunned down in Kitang in November 2022. This incident is tied to the theft of a 200 million rand cocaine batch from Hawks offices in KwaZulu-Natal 4 years prior, believed to be an internal operation. Malaf's history includes a prison sentence in the UK for drug possession back in 2003, where authorities seized ecstasy and cannabis from his residence. His release on 400,000 rand bail allows him freedom amid ongoing legal battles. But the charges paint him as a key enforcer for the Big Five, willing to remove obstacles through deadly means. These individuals are not operating in isolation. Sources familiar with crime patterns suggest the Big Five represents mid-level operators, with true controllers possibly based abroad, including government figures from other nations. This international dimension adds complexity as the cartel leveraged global networks to import drugs and export profits. In South Africa, the infiltration is evident in how the group has allegedly corrupted police ranks, with high-ranking officers accused of protecting cartel interests. For instance, suspended Deputy National Commissioner Shadrach Sibia is embroiled in claims of close ties to Matala, including receiving large cash gifts, such as 300,000 rand for his son's wedding and 2 million rand for land. Sibia denies these, insisting their interactions were professional and limited, and he is pushing to cross-examine accusers at the commission to clear his name.
And then they bring other stories to muddy the whole thing and say, no, it's because of the cartels. We didn't know what we now know. They are not connected, this thing. Just tell me what was my role in those cartels that you're talking about. Where I'm sitting, I have a document that was produced by crime intelligence. When the minister said, I want to know who's supplying firearms. Where do these firearms coming from? Why are we not able to arrest these people that are supplying the firearms? And who's supplying drugs? Where do they manufacture drugs? Do we know who are the kingpins? Do we know where the clandestine laboratories are? Why are you not arresting them? The presentation was presented by crime intelligence. We have those presentations. The Big Five that is being spoken about is not there. And if it is indeed true, it is there, it exists, why are they not being arrested? For drugs or for whatever reasons it may be. But personally, I'm not involved in the Big Five. I don't know the Big Five. So I'm just saying, you ask a simple question, are there cartels or are there factionalism in the South African Police Service? I'm tempted to say yes, but I think it's better left to this committee to look at what is happening after our presentation and decide on that statement.
CBS's background is extensive. He rose through police ranks, heading the Hawks in Kitang before dismissal over rendition allegations, which was later overturned. He worked in Johannesburg Anti-Corruption Unit, facing his own probes into financial irregularities, which he disputes. Promoted to Deputy Commissioner in 2023, Sibia now faces suspension following raids on his home where devices were seized. Testimonies claim he received not just money, but also gifts like impalas from Matala, allegedly, in exchange for influencing police matters, including a healthcare contract. Sibia argues that superiors like National Commissioner Fanny Massimo and KwaZulu-Natal Manatsi have provided misleading information, particularly about the disbandment of a task team investigating political killings. This task team, known as the PKTT, handled 121 dockets that were transferred amid controversy. Sibia claims Masamoa was fully aware and even directed him to sign off on the plan, dismissing later expressions of concern as afterthoughts. Monatsi has pointed to WhatsApp messages between Matlala and businessman Brown Mahotsi referencing meetings with Sibia and Police Minister Senzunu. Though Sibia questions their authenticity, Munu himself is under fire, accused of meddling in operations to obstruct justice, possibly linked to ambitions within the ANC. Witnesses suggest Matala funded Munu's political bids, including 500,000 rand toward a presidency run, which Munu denies. The Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee is set for more testimonies, including from Acting Minister Fio Kachilia and the NPA's Andrea Johnson. Plans to summon Matsala from prison have sparked debate as legal experts warn it could complicate his trial, where he has the right to remain silent to avoid self-incrimination. This move is seen by some as inefficient, potentially wasting resources without yielding useful information. History echoes in these revelations, as the firm and the Big Five are not new names. Decades ago, the firm was associated with Western Cape gangster Colin Stanfield, who collaborated with apartheid-era police and international traffickers like Vicky Gaomi. Linked to the ANC, Stanfield's nephew, Ralph, now faces charges and is accused of leading a similar group. The original Big Five from the 1980s and 1990s involved black traffickers with corrupt official ties, some of whom met untimely ends without facing justice. Today's version seems to revive these structures, blending old tactics with modern infiltration, targeting seaports, and using private security as fronts. This scandal exposes a system compromised at its core, where shady figures wield power to perpetuate corruption. Key witnesses at the Mlenga Commission have confirmed the underworld's grip on law enforcement, with remote control from high places allowing profiteering without consequence. It undermines efforts for national renewal and betrays promises of better governance. As inquiries continue, more names may surface, revealing how the Big Five has embedded itself in politics with allegations of funding campaigns and securing tenders in exchange for protection. The cartel's readiness to eliminate threats is evident in linked incidents like the murder of security figure Banganos earlier this year and the botched plot against Arthur Fraser in 2022, where Mibi's name appeared unsubstantiated. These details illustrate a pattern. Rivals in the taxi industry like Sibenyoni face direct attacks, while stolen drug hauls lead to hits on those involved, such as DJ Somebody. Private security firms staffed with ex-police provide the muscle, luring lines between legal protection and cartel enforcement. In provinces like the Western Cape, flare-ups and gang activities are suspected to stem from KwaZulu-Natal firearms shipments, escalating control over drug routes. As South Africa grapples with this, the Big Five's operations highlight vulnerabilities in critical infrastructure from ports to police stations. Smaller seaports are becoming hotspots as traffickers shift to evade detection, potentially drawing in more local gangs and spreading the cartel's influence. Politicians like Thilia have expressed alarm at how private security is absorbing state capabilities, with Matela's firm employing 23 former task force members, creating parallel power structures. CBS push for cross-examination underscores the tensions within police leadership. He accuses Masamoa of endorsing the PKTT disbandment, only to later distance himself and claims ignorance about docket transfers defies logic, given their close working relationships. Witness C has added claims of Matala gifting impalers and cash to CB for favors, tying into broader accusations of the cartel buying loyalty at the top. Munu's role is particularly troubling, with suggestions he interfered to protect interests, possibly his own political future. The committee's work is revealing how such interference perverts justice, allowing cartels like the Big Five to operate with impunity. As more testimonies loom, the full extent of infiltration may emerge, showing connections to international players and historical syndicates. This ongoing saga reveals how deeply entrenched these networks are, ready to strike at anyone who threatens their empire. From CBI's Far-Base funeral with its aerial arrivals to Matt Lawless' prison summons and Malifa's bail amid murder charges, every detail paints a picture of a cartel that thrives on fear and corruption. As investigations press on, South Africans are left wondering how such a group has gained so much ground, infiltrating the halls of power and the ranks of protectors. Thanks for watching.